It's like it just starts up so quickly. It's the
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this
I
gold.
wish they'd play this song tomorrow at our birthday party.
We need to slip the DJ or tape. You want to hear this DJ?
Welcome to All Gold Everything, a podcast for people who are Whacktose intolerant. No whackness here.
I feel like I'm on Nickelodeon now.
I know. You know what? It's funny because Jeff was listening to like some cool new rap track or something because he always does music suggestions on Google Play, and then it gives him like this cutting edge, cool new stuff that's coming out. And he was playing one of the tracks for me, and the guy was talking about being lactose intolerant, and I was like, oh yeah, we're using that.
I'm glad creativity is coming back into hip hop music.
Yeah, I agree, and
Yes.
it's inspiring.
Yes,
it's inspiring. So anyway, I'm one of your hosts. I'm Heidi B.
I'm Sandy Hammer.
And we're going to talk about some stuff. Of course, before we get into all of the funny stuff that we have to cover and our personal development stuff for the day, we have a couple of announcements. First of all, we will be doing a Ruthless review this afternoon.
We will.
Our Ruthless reviews are available on Patreon. You can go there to Patreon and just like look at some of our regular content. We can also go to Patreon and sign up to be a patron for a mere $5 a month. It's very affordable.
So inexpensive.
So cheap.
So cheap.
We are affordable ladies. You can sign up to become one of our patrons for $5 a month. That will grant you access to our Ruthless reviews. And this week, we are reviewing Brene Brown's Call to Courage. You're going to want to hear it.
You will.
We have some thoughts. We're not just going to kiss Brene Brown's ass like everyone out there is. So it's controversial, I think, and I think you'll like it. So that's what's happening on Ruthless Review. Do you have something to add to that? I felt like I just cut you off.
No, I'm saving it for the Ruthless review.
Yeah, girl, keep the lip zipped. I love it. The other thing that's going on is that
I know you have $5.
I know you have $5.
I know you have $5.
You have $5. I know you. I'm with you. We should just do a you have $5
If you
campaign.
don't have $5, you have no business listening to this podcast. You need to be out looking for a damn job. And you cannot listen to a podcast while filling out an application.
That's right. You need to be getting your hustle on, making some money first. Otherwise, all the rest of y'all have $5. So sign up on Patreon. Thank you very much. Okay. The other thing that's going on.
It takes courage, but you can do it.
Brene Brown would probably say, be vulnerable, spend your $5. That's all we're giving you. That's it. That's the only bait that you get on this.
That's all you get.
The other thing that's going on this weekend on Saturday, which I don't know what date Saturday is actually. I looked up all the details of this event, but I don't know what actual the number date Saturday is. Anyway, on Saturday, the
25th. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong month. Let me get back to May. I think it's the 18th. I think it's Saturday, May 18th.
We, the Girls of All Gold Everything podcast, will be at the Red Dress Party at Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
Dang, homie.
Oh, it starts at 8 p.m., but we have it on good authority that no one should be there before 10. Oh, God.
No. So that's why I'm wearing my red today.
Yes. And do you know what the Red Dress Party is a fundraiser for?
It's a fundraiser for a local organization that supports AIDS research and other resources for people suffering from AIDS and HIV.
Yes, and the reason it's called...
I don't know what it's called because I'm not prepared for that question.
That was a great answer. I feel like it effectively communicated the point of the event, and the reason it's called the Red Dress event is that you are required to wear a red... Not required. Yeah, required.
Yeah, you are required
to wear a red dress.
At least 75% of your dress that has to be a dress.
Yeah.
Must be red. You can wear a skirt and a shirt, but you cannot wear pants.
No pants. No red pants.
Nobody.
So after this show today, Sandy and I are going shopping, which I think this is kind of dangerous. We're really waiting until the last minute to go shopping for something red for this. But on the way over here, we were talking about the fact that we both have some fallback options in case we find nothing today.
It's true.
Which isn't that always the way it is? I feel like anytime I have time or money to spend on shopping, I find nothing. And anytime I have no time and no money, I find all the thing. Wait, that's backwards.
Yeah, it's backwards.
Whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. So it is a little nerve-wracking that we're doing this today.
We're living dangerously.
All I need is a red bustier that fits.
Yeah.
So, and some red lace crop leggings.
Ooh, I like that. You have a vision going for.
I know, but I'm afraid I won't be able to achieve my vision because of the short notice, and I don't know where I'm going to shop for these items.
Girl, I don't even have a vision. I think we're going to sex stores, right?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would be down with that.
The other thing we should probably hit is like Metro Boutique on Hawthorne, which is like an ecstasy sex store, dance store thing.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
We won't be doing ecstasy while we shop, though.
No.
FYI.
No. We probably won't be doing ecstasy at all.
Period.
Even though, as we were talking about, we may talk about on the podcast, oh, good Lord. I have not dropped anything under my tongue before coming here. But
we don't do that.
I was sad a little bit when I got sober because I have never done ecstasy, or what the kids are calling Molly these days.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I kind of did always want to do, and I never had. So when I got sober, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, that doesn't count though. Like if that opportunity comes up and, and I have this fantasy about and happen to be in love, then I would probably do it. But now it's like coming up on 7 years sober. It's that mindset has shifted a little bit for me.
I did do a fair amount of MDMA, ecstasy, dance drugs as a 20-something, but I never did cocaine. And I had the same thought when I got sober, like, well, I haven't ever done cocaine. And actually, for a minute, it made me question whether or not I needed to get sober, but I did need to get sober.
Because you hadn't done cocaine yet.
Yeah. So I was like, well, if I haven't done cocaine, do I really need to get sober? I don't know. Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
But I did often think like, well, maybe I had kind of that same reservation about potentially somebody doing cocaine. And I agree. Coming up on some more time, that perspective has shifted. But I will say ecstasy, whatever, MDMA, it really is mostly just a dance drug. And I will say I was rather disappointed with the fact that I could take ecstasy, dance all night, and get really sweaty. And
so what you're saying is I could do it?
No.
Because it's really just a dance drug?
No. The key word in that sentence is drug. So, yeah.
I missed that. I heard the just a.
Just a.
I heard that it's really just a. And I was like, what is Heidi saying right now? I'm open.
No, not worth it. Not worth it.
No.
Okay.
There will be no dropping of Molly at the Red Dress Party for me. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that.
We might do boomerangs with people who have dropped Molly. That might be a thing.
Yes.
We are going to try to do a lot of social media stuff while we're there on Saturday and see what we can get posting and live. Maybe a live video, maybe a boomerang. We'll see.
Yes.
We will see what happens. So that's pretty exciting. We're excited to be heading to that. One of the things that is on this list of topics that I have, we watched the Brene Brown Call to Courage special, and it had me in Netflix, and so I started to pick up the show Dead to Me. Have you seen this?
No, but it's I'm getting a lot of ads for it, and it looks interesting.
Yeah, it's dark and funny, and Christina Applegate's in it. And part of the reason it came on my radar is that in the TV show, she does a Peloton. She has a Peloton in her house.
Oh.
So, of course, all the Peloton people across the country are like, oh my God, Christina Applegate's on a Peloton in the show. It really only makes like 2 appearances.
That's kind of brilliant, though, for Peloton.
No,
it really is.
Yeah. It's not a central part of the storyline. It doesn't have much screen time.
It just lets us all know that this character is rich.
Yeah, that's part of the point of it.
Yeah.
And anyway, but the show is super funny, very dark. So anyway, I was going to check it. You should watch it. The other thing is great. It's a half hour, 28 minutes an episode.
I like
so
those.
it's like, I binged 3. I've been watching 3 a day for the last week. So I'm like, it's like an hour and a half that I, probably could be doing something a little more useful with my time, but also an hour and a half to just kind of relax, rewind, or unwind, giggle.
Yeah, cool. I will watch it. And on that note, because Joey and I have been watching another short little cute, amazing, I can't believe I'm so late to this show, Schitt's Creek.
Oh, you know what? Jeff and I tried it, but we couldn't get behind it. But people love it. It's canceled now, right?
Yeah, they have completed their last. I think they have completed their last. I think, or this is it, or it just completed.
Yeah,
but we're still on season 2.
Nice.
I love the characters. I love the humor. I love these people, and especially David Rose, the son, the guy who plays the son. He reminds me of our friend, the friend that we have in common. I don't know if I can call it. Anyway, yeah.
I don't know what friend you're talking about.
I can't believe you don't know. Rhymes with Scanner.
Oh, got it. Okay. Now I'm with you.
Yeah. So much that I've almost kind of projected the David Rose character onto Scanner when I see Scanner now.
That's funny.
I don't think Scanner appreciates it.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
You watch Dead to Me this week, and I'll watch Schitt's Creek, and we'll come back. We'll reconvene.
But my favorite character is Moira. And I
very Irish
want
name.
to be like her when I grow up. Okay.
There was a Maura that I loved that was on the show ER.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that? That is like a blast.
Yes, and that was her name. That's
and
right.
her name was Maura, and she was just like this adorable, smart doctor.
Yes,
and I was like, oh yeah, Maura Kelly is her name. I don't know.
I work with a Maura. Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't sound great.
I'm not even worried about my coworkers seeing this because they all know. Yeah.
All right, our next story is something that's going on in Portland, and I kind of feel like this is an only Portland thing. Okay, in Portland, there is this house that is for sale. It's a floating home, first of
this
all.
is such a good thing to talk about.
my God,
I love that this is on the podcast.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, Mark has a video file that he's just going to scroll through like all the clips of all the pictures of this house. This house is called the Aqua Star. It's for sale for $1 million. Cheap.
Oh
Mark's
my
saying
gosh, I
cheap,
bet you
cheap.
it is so janky inside.
It is so weird inside. It is.
Do we have photos of inside?
The photos are going to come because the story in the newspaper. I got this off the Oregonian. There are definitely pictures of the inside. I was so shocked. Like, first of all, I can't imagine paying $1 million for any house that is fucking on the water. You don't even have any. There's no
foundation.
Yeah.
You own no land. You don't own that river floating
No.
underneath it. So can we talk about that? Because this is something that's always kind of fascinated me and left me curious about floating homes. They are usually significantly less expensive than like homesteads on land. And is that just because the price of land is subtracted out of it, or is there more to it than that?
I think you're onto something. I think it's just that the price of land is subtracted out. You do usually have to pay either a mortgage or a fee to have a slip, which is like where it's parked. But you don't, and then you own the slip or whatever, but not really, because then like the yacht. This is at the is at a yacht club, the most prestigious yacht club in Portland. Obviously, there's no yachts there. It's only houses.
Well, what's that behind? What's that behind the Aqua Star?
No,
the
I don't
Aqua
know.
Star 2? That looks like a yacht.
That does look like a yacht, and I don't know if it comes with that. If that yacht came with the house, this price tag would make more sense to me. So anyway, I don't know if some pictures of the inside. There we go. So the inside
I
of
can
this.
smell the must just looking at that.
The inside of this place is like silver paneled. It has shag carpet. I mean, this
musty
looks
as
like
fuck.
This looks like some kind of like Art Deco renovation from 1983 gone awry. This is challenging for me because you would end up buying $1 million would buy you the houseboat, but then you still have to renovate the whole thing on the inside. I mean, it's so ugly.
Yeah, we need to break this down because there's a lot happening here with the mirrored paneling.
Mirrored silver
and then we're
paneling,
gonna get a like walnut and black entertainment center. Oh,
It
and
doesn't jive.
And then under a beige carpet, and then we're gonna push in a TV table that's like pine.
Yeah, it doesn't make
there's
any sense.
And a wood stove.
Yeah.
Really, guys?
No.
And look at that. Can we talk about that clock? Who thought it was a good idea to hang up that clock?
I just love that you're really putting the hard sell on this so that people have to go to YouTube and watch this video so they can see what we're talking about. You are a freaking genius. Thank you, Sandy.
Oh my
This bathroom is like...
seriously, can you smell this house just looking at these
yeah,
photos?
because you know it's like mildewy because it's wet because you're on the water.
Oh my gosh.
I can't with this.
Friends of all gold, everything. This house is busted.
Yeah, nobody should be paying $1 million for this house. Not even. And like because it's called the Aqua Star and all, it has like, it looks like a bunch of silos. If you remember from the first picture, I mean, every wall is curved. You don't even have a straight wall. It's like that is. I'm wondering what you would do with your bed aside from ordering like a custom round bed.
Yeah,
putting a rectangular bed in a curved room is a nightmare.
Well, you put it in the middle of the room,
Yeah.
but these rooms probably aren't big enough for that.
That's
what you have to do. You have to put it in the middle of the room and have like a like kind of like a divider thing to like divide half the room. I've seen it on TV.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I actually know exactly what you're talking about. Here's another one. This looks like a kind of recording studio nightmare scenario.
It has the silver paneling, except now with some lavender carpeted curved ceiling.
It does, however, look like someone just vacuumed it. Is that right? That looks like some vacuum
It sure does.
streaks.
Wait, but I'm not finished because I just described lavender painted walls, lavender carpeted ceiling, lavender carpet, and a red wall.
A red wall. Red wall.
With another shitty pine entertainment center that IKEA probably sold in 1992.
Yeah.
But why did I say he? I assumed he.
Well, obviously, he lives here.
They do own records. I see vinyl. That's interesting because that looks like a boombox. That doesn't look like a record player.
I feel like he who lives here, his name is Chad, and he's a 47-year-old white guy who plays guitar on the weekends. And like, I'm not sure where Chad got all the money to buy this place, but Chad's real estate agent
All
is
the
lying to
money
him.
to buy this
I'm
place.
just saying, his real estate agent is lying to him if he thinks he's selling it for $1 million. There's no
Probably
way.
Bought it for $125,000. I mean, let's be honest. Oh wow!
It's bad. It's bad. This is crazy.
If this house were on land, this would be considered a tear down.
Okay, so you know what's interesting about this? Okay, we did a story similar to this probably over a year ago. There is an Art Deco house in Southeast Portland that on the outside is like, okay, it's Art Deco, which is like very hit or miss taste wise, but on the inside is exactly like this, like the one we're showing you. And the guy that owns it is the heir to the veggie patties. What are the
like Boca Burger?
Boca Burger, yes. He, the owner of the CEO of Boca Burger or whatever, owns this like weird house. So like, I wonder if there's something about being an eccentric millionaire that makes you go like, oh, Art Deco, oh, bold colors that don't match. I don't know. It's
I'm
fucking
with
played
that.
out is what it is.
I'm with that, but this is janky.
Yeah, this
isn't nice. This is not nice.
So we just want to say we're doing our consumers a favor and telling everyone to not buy this house. I mean,
this house is a tear down.
This is a bad idea.
Even the appliances you couldn't sell.
Very bad idea. Speaking of other things,
oh my God.
I was getting ready to move us to another story, but that bathroom
beige
is
sink with a white Formica countertop.
God. I can't even. Like, can you imagine having people over to this place? You would just be apologizing the whole time.
Well, I mean, what I have to say is if we've established that the price is basically the price for the house minus the price of land, and the house is a tear down. Yeah. What are you paying for? They just need to tow that shit out of the slip and tow another one in.
Tow a new one in. I would like a new one that's like a glass box. You know, I'm like actually really interested in someday living somewhere in a glass box. It'd be cool to live in a glass box on the river.
It'd be incredible.
It'd be amazing. And then
I would
want to
need
have
blinds though.
Yeah, well, I would want to have like glass windows that like you could hit a button and they like something in them shifted and then they turned opaque.
Like transitions lenses.
Yeah, transitions lenses, but for glass for windows.
Yes.
So okay, we're on the same page with that. Obviously, when we start getting paid and we do our All Gold Pod by Crocs collaboration, we know where the money's going. It's going to a gold cube on the.
Okay, but I still haven't signed off on the. I said I would have to think hard about it. And I'm not totally, don't sign me up. We need to talk about it.
We will. No decisions have been made yet. We'll be definitely, I won't be making that decision without you.
Yeah. And if we're going to manifest a shoe contract, can we just not choose Crocs, please?
Can you imagine if I came in here one day, I was like, oh, by the way, I signed us to a $1 million deal with Crocs.
You know, frankly, truthfully, I'd probably be like, high five. Thank you, Heidi. I mean, that's the truth. Let's just be real. We're committed to authenticity.
We should aim higher though.
And if you did come and tell me that, we would be celebrating.
Or what about Keds?
I would prefer Keds.
Keds are cute.
I'd take
That's adorable.
We would look adorable in a Keds
really
ad.
Damn cute in a Keds ad. Add it to my list of things to do today. Pitch Keds.
You know what? I think we can bring Keds back.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what, Taylor Swift tried a couple of years ago, but she didn't try very hard because she had a couple other things going on.
That would look really cute at the red dress party.
Yes, some kids. Okay, I'm here for it. Okay, add it to the list. Okay, speaking of other things that cost or save $1 million, this story is in the news today, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with this. There is a restaurant chain called Steak and Shake. Have you ever been there? Back in the day?
No. I know the Shake Shack.
This is different. This is a much lower grade version of the Steak Shack. Steak and Shake is mostly, I think, Midwest. So I have been to one because there's one in Iowa. Okay. And it's like thin fried patty burgers and like milkshakes with the canister that you get the extra. And like,
I do like that.
I do too. I'm not going to lie. Huge fan. And then also some French, it's like a diner style, whatever.
Okay.
So anyway, the CEO of Shake Shack, or Steak and Shake, not Shake Shack. Steak and Shake is apparently in a little bit of financial trouble. And the CEO was going over the books the other day and determined that if they no longer served maraschino cherries on top of their milkshakes, which the milkshake is a huge staple of the menu, they would save $1 million a year. That's
I read that when you sent that to me.
Shitload of cherries, frankly.
So I just have to disclose I do have a... a conflict of interest with this story.
Tell me.
I am a graduate of Oregon State University, inventor of the maraschino cherry.
Oh my God, I did not know that. Wow, look at all the stuff we are learning here today.
Yeah,
wow.
So I might have to decline to comment because of my bias.
It's so controversial. Well, I feel like maraschino cherries alone are kind of controversial. Like I am a hater of maraschino.
I was going to say, do you ever eat the maraschino cherry?
No.
me
And
neither.
actually, I'd prefer that they don't even get like the red cherry juice on the whipped cream. Thank you very much. Leave it off.
I'm with you.
Save your $1 million. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, like
Because if
with
you're
the cherry on top is
I know, it's the thing.
it's just like it's infiltrated everything in our lives. So can you imagine, I don't know, getting a shake? I could imagine getting a shake without a cherry
yeah.
because
Me too.
I have received many shakes in my life without cherries.
Because I'd be like, cool, stick an Oreo in it, put a Reese's cup on top of it. I don't care, but don't put a fucking gross cherry on the top. Ick, no.
Yeah, and for like a chain of restaurants, like I'm not sure how much $1 million a year really even is.
That's true. That might be small potatoes.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, like
that.
one person might notice that this cherry's missing.
Yeah.
Right? Which I hate to say.
And then they'll fill out a comment card, which they'll hand to the manager, who will put it directly in the trash can. So, I mean, there's that.
Maybe they could just keep a can of maraschino cherries for people who request
self-serve.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, that's even better. Not self-serve, because then people will take like hundreds of them. But you could just say maraschino cherries upon request only.
Right.
Because there are some restaurants in California that do still water on request only, right? Because they don't want to serve.
Most restaurants,
right.
yeah.
They won't just like serve you water because they don't want to waste it, which I think is smart.
It is.
Yeah.
You should have to ask for your water.
Yep. Agreed. And so speaking of $1 million, we've got like all of our stories have like something to do with $1 million today.
It takes courage and bravery to ask for water when you need it.
Courage.
It
and
does.
bravery. You're brave.
You're brave.
I just want to validate how brave you are for asking for your water.
Thank you.
It's truly inspiring.
Well, I was inspired by Winston Churchill.
Okay, so there are these two YouTubers that are having the fight of the century, apparently.
This you're going to have to completely fill me in
I know, it's
on.
okay. I have to move my phone over here because I have all the details. I have the story on my clipboard. But okay, so when you're looking at the picture here, the woman on the right is a woman named Tati Westbrook. And the person on the left is a person called James Charles. Okay, so Tati Westbrook, it turns out, was like kind of just a mommy makeup blogger, had like I don't know, some followers, like a couple 100,000 followers on her YouTube channel. But she teamed up in the past couple of years with James Charles, who happens to be this is a quote, I'm not entirely sure what it means. He happens to be the first assigned male gender non-binary cover girl. So I think what that means is he was assigned male gender at birth, but now identifies as non-binary, and they got a contract with CoverGirl. So they are a big deal. And
sorry, go back. Explain this one more time to me about James.
James Charles is the first, quote, assigned male gender, non-binary cover girl. So I don't
know what that means.
I think what that means is that he was assigned male gender at birth and now identifies as non-binary, and then received a contract with CoverGirl to be a CoverGirl makeup person, to be a CoverGirl. Like Ellen used to be a CoverGirl spokesmodel.
We call James them they.
I think so.
Okay.
But nobody really bothered calling James them they in all of the stories that I read about this. So I'm still not entirely sure.
So we might not be right about this.
We might not be right, but we do know that James received this is the first non-binary person to be a CoverGirl spokesperson. Okay, that aside, I'm just saying that's all that it is.
I just don't know what it means. Like, I am not like trying to judge. I'm not trying to be open-minded. I just honestly don't know what that means.
I agree with you. I think that because James identifies as non-binary, that their pronouns will be them, they.
It doesn't non-binary. So binary means one or the other.
Yeah.
So non-binary means not
like
one
fluid.
or the other. So James, he, them, they, whatever, identifies maybe sometimes as male, sometimes as female, and maybe is just like whatever, whenever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fucking awesome.
That's pretty exciting.
So that's my interpretation. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. So James Charles is the first non-binary person to have a contract with CoverGirl to be like a spokesmodel.
Like
for
RuPaul might be non-binary.
Correct. Maybe.
I don't know.
RuPaul would have to decide that, but perhaps.
It's true.
It's true. You're right. Okay, so the point being that actually James Charles has millions and millions of YouTube followers and is far more famous than Tati Westbrook was when they got together and became friends. But Tati knew a marketing ploy when she saw one, and she decided to team up with James, and they started having each other on their YouTube channels and doing makeup tips. And the makeup mommies that followed Tati loved James and his flamboyance, and I think his followers probably tolerated her being on his channel occasionally or whatever. But recently they got in a huge fight because Tati apparently has a vitamin line called it's like Hola, maybe it's I can't remember, it starts with an H. Halo vitamins.
Okay.
And Tati and James have been like kind of, they've been cooperating in promoting the vitamin brand. But then James went to Coachella and some other vitamin brand helped him with a security matter that he had. And so he gave them a shout out on his channel about I think it was the Sugar Daddy gummies that they had like really helped him out of a bind.
Sugar Bear hair?
Actually, it's Sugar Bear. That's what it is. It's Sugar Bear gummies.
Okay.
That had helped him out of a bind while he was at Coachella. Well, then Tati posted a 43-minute video on her YouTube channel declaring James canceled. James Charles is canceled, she said, for 43 minutes.
What does that mean, canceled?
That means like unsubscribe, we're done being friends. That basically means our friendship is canceled. That's the new way to say we're not friends anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So can I just clarify what non-binary means?
Yes. Thank you for doing that.
Refers to someone, I think you already said this though, but refers to someone who does not identify as exclusively male or female. Mm-hmm. So we'll just leave it at that.
Oh, good. We were right.
Were we?
Yeah, I think we were.
Okay.
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway,
carry on.
In a 43-minute video, Tammy went on a rant about how James Charles was canceled and everyone should unfollow his YouTube channel. And then he lost 1.2 million YouTube subscribers in a day. I'm like, we gained one last week.
Yes.
We
What
did?
is that? What is that? Can we get a percentage? Yes.
We now have 24 YouTube followers. Our newest YouTube follower has the handle Plays with Trains. Still Plays with Trains, maybe. I can't remember. So shout out to Plays with Trains or Still Plays with Trains, whatever. I can't quite remember what
Please don't cancel us.
Please don't cancel us. We're very excited to have you on board. Still Plays with Trains. Very excited to have you on board. So I just wanted to, I mostly want to talk about this story to put in perspective the fact that we have 24 YouTube followers and that James Charles lost 1.2 million YouTube followers in a day because of Tati. Now, don't get it twisted. He definitely posted an 8-minute video responding to her 43-minute rant, and they've been going back and forth. The other thing that's interesting about this is a couple weeks ago or months ago, we did a story on a makeup cosmetics heist from the Jeffree Star line.
Yes.
Now, James Charles happens to have a clothing brand called Sisters Clothing.
Oh, cool.
And his merch brand is Sisters, and it happens to be owned by none other than Jeffree Star.
Ooh, it gets deeper.
Now, currently, the Sisters merch site is canceled down, so people are going people are mad about that.
Like maybe Jeffree Star's on Tati's side. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, it could be. And people are mad about that. And the other thing people are mad about is that now they're so mad at James Charles that they want to get rid of his palettes because he had sold listen, girl, forget Crocs. We actually need to put together a palette because that is fucking where the money is at.
We could do that.
We could do that. We're good at colors.
Yeah. And we have a few people in our camp that could help us too.
Yeah, I want to put together a palette, the all gold palette. Anyway, done. And an idea is born. So people are mad at James Charles and they want to destroy his palette, but the palette's so good that they don't really want to destroy it. So now they're posting all these videos just like covering up his name on the palette instead of like lighting the shit on fire, which is, if you were really mad at him, you'd fucking get rid of the palette. But the palette's so good.
How can you be mad at him?
I don't know why you'd be mad at him. Well, apparently one of the things that Tati Westbrook is saying that he did is that he's been tricking. He apparently does also identify as a gay man, and he's been tricking straight men into thinking that they're gay and like taking advantage of them. This is an accusation that's being leveled by Tati.
Oh, Tati.
Yeah, and it's
That's
pretty
none
dark.
Of your damn
yeah,
business, Tati.
It's pretty dark. So anyway, I don't really know why people are mad. All I know is that he lost 1.2 million YouTube followers in a day.
Okay, you can't trick a man into believing that they're gay and having sex with you. Like if a man decides to have sex with another man,
that's a decision.
Yeah, I know that people can be coerced into sex, period, but not like the way that this is being described. Like, there would have to be other coercion going on aside from the you're gay part.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, there would have to be a little bit more than like the suggestion of like, don't you think you might be gay or wouldn't you like to give this a try? Right. Because that would just be like exploring your sexuality.
Right. That's not coercion.
No, yeah.
So I'm a little bit looking a little side eye at Tati after that.
I agree. I think this is the story of a mommy makeup blogger scorned.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where I come down on it.
So I know nothing about this other than what you told me, but I am on the side of James Charles.
Yeah.
I've been remembered his name.
There you go.
I just want to buy some of his swag.
Are you on the website right now?
I think this sister's hoodie,
I think
would look really cute on both of us? Wouldn't
It
we
would look cute.
in
We would
that?
look cute in that. That's a good color for us.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I feel like supporting him, but maybe I should read a little bit more first.
You might.
I might want to, just because, I could be completely wrong.
Well, and I didn't do a particularly thorough job of this. So yeah, we should do some more research. Maybe we can have Fred fact check this for us. He can tell us where we should come down on it.
Okay. Well, from a 2,000-foot view, possibly a position of neutrality, because I don't know who any of these people are.
It's true. Me neither.
It sounds like dumb.
It does sound a little bit like everyone's taking themselves a little too seriously.
Right.
Oh, yeah, because lest we forget that this fight started over gummy vitamins.
Right.
Also, y'all grown-ass people taking gummy vitamins? Like,
Right.
come on.
And I'm still not, I understand that this whole social media becoming an influencer is real, right? I'm understanding that these are people's real jobs.
And there's real money attached.
There's real money.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
are people real jobs. I do have a deep understanding of that, but I still have this old part of me who's like, you cannot cry over lost followers.
Yeah,
That still feels so small to me.
Yeah.
Even though I know that to them it is very real and very much not small.
Well, here's what I want to know. I am actually, now I'm hung up on the idea of all these people shilling gummy vitamins and why can't everyone just take their gross old nasty multivitamin that tastes like, what do they taste like? That tastes like corn or whatever. Oh, you do gummy vitamins.
I'm a gummy vitamin
Look at you.
believer.
Are these the sugar baby, or what are they called?
So they're sugar bear hair.
Sugar bear hair.
Right there. And then I have my fiber, my vitamin C, and my vitamin D.
This is the cutest pill case ever, actually, because it's full of gummies, which is amazing, and I love that.
And this is
There's a lot of Molly.
vitamin M. But this is, I take my vitamins every day because they're gummies.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that just is because I'm a sugar addict.
I love it. Actually, I have to say, they look really good. They look really good.
Here, I have two.
As much as I was ranting and raving about gummy vitamins, I want to eat one right now. What's
Yes.
the orange one? What's
The
this?
orange one is the vitamin C.
Oh, of course. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
These little gumdrops are vitamin D.
Oh, okay. I want to have
And
that.
the big gumdrops are fiber because I'm 42. I need to take
Do you
fiber.
meal prep these for the whole week? Do you have 7 jars?
I have 4. I only have 4 jars, so I do 4 at a time.
That's really smart. They're delicious. Thank you.
Yes. So I take my vitamins every day, and I've never been able to achieve that in my life. with
Rant
the other-
averted. I like this.
I love this just happened.
Can I get on board? Can you make some for me? Could I get a daily vitamin subscription service through you?
Yes.
I'll pay you. Oh, those bears are good.
No, I'll just hook you up every time we podcast with
my
a
God.
week's worth.
Those blue bears are so yummy.
Those are the sugar bear hair ones.
Okay, I'm definitely on James Charles' side. All right.
check.
Oh my God, those are so good. Okay, the next 3 stories that I have for us to talk about are so dark, and we're at the 30-minute mark. I don't know if we want to talk about any of them. I'll give you an option. I'll tell you what they are. Number 1 is serial killer in West Virginia. Number 2
I have
is
an ex from West Virginia.
Number 2 is $1.6 billion requested by Donald Trump to send a woman to the moon in 2024. Number 3 is Nebraska farmer amputates his own leg. Or we could move on to do's and don'ts of meeting for the first date.
We got to do one of those. I feel like I feel connected to the West Virginia murderer.
All right.
I can't talk about Donald Trump.
I know. Well, and I feel like $1.6 billion. No, I'm skipping it. I won't even give you my rant about it. Okay.
I know where it's going. What could we do with 1.6 million for the women
Oh my God.
on the mainland?
We could protect access to safe abortion.
Oh!
Yay! Had to get political for 1 minute. All right. So there was a serial killer carnival worker on the loose in West Virginia.
Even better. I'm glad I chose this one.
Yeah. so-
Carnival worker.
Carnival worker. I mean, does this surprise anyone?
No.
Not even a little bit.
Not at all.
So he's killed 3 women in West Virginia already. 2 of the women's bodies have been recovered. 1 is still missing. So he claimed that he, quote, accidentally tripped and shot his first victim twice in the head. Just on accident.
That can happen.
Yeah. And then he claimed that as he was taking her body to the hospital, it fell out of the back of his truck and rolled down the embankment where it was eventually found. So you're trying to tell me that you tripped and shot her twice, and then instead of putting her in the car or calling an ambulance, you put her in the truck bed, the
Yes.
bed of your truck, and then it bounced out.
Ambulances are expensive. He might have gotten the bill. If they got his name.
Bounced out and rolled down an embankment.
I mean, it's West Virginia. It's rural. Bounce,
It is. Bounce. I don't know, though. Can you imagine how much bounce it would be required to bounce a lifeless body out of a they're heavy.
Here's what. This is why this
I'm not buying it. I need receipts.
This is why this is a truly dark story. Is because in our current justice system, that story is all he needs in lieu of, actual forensic DNA evidence, right? So if he was smart enough not to leave any of his bodily fluids or DNA on or around this woman's body, that story is enough for him not to be convicted of this murder.
Have some reasonable doubt. Or
yes.
Well, we would say not really reasonable,
We'd
but
say
someone will interpret
doubt.
that as reasonable doubt.
Yeah. So that's what's dark about that story.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
Yes.
And also...
but of course he did it.
Of course he did it. And of course he works at a carnival, and he's probably already back to work, and don't go to carnivals. I don't know.
Well, what about the other two?
The other two... I didn't have any more details about the other two. The one, it can't be found. The one other woman is a daughter of a different carnival worker. So I kind of felt bad for her because she's already living the carny lifestyle. And so I don't know exactly what happened with the other one, but this is what the story he's giving for the first one, that it was an accident and that her body just bounced out of his truck.
That's actually not surprising at all. In my consumption of true crime, that's a common defense.
Wow. Shot her in the head.
Yeah.
It was an accident. Well, I guess there's no eyewitness.
Right.
The only witness is dead.
Yeah. What I was going to say, though, is there is a daughter of a carny, a woman who grew up on the carnival circuit on The Real Housewives of Dallas. And she's incredible.
Yeah.
And she's out of her fucking mind. And
who is she married? Is she married to a bunch of money? Is that how she ended up on Real Housewives of Dallas?
No,
or is she's independently wealthy somehow?
She doesn't appear to be very wealthy, actually. She's married to a former cop, but sheriff.
Oh, okay.
So there's middle class money. And she's a former beauty queen, and she's done a little bit of acting.
Okay.
And so I think that they're just kind of like getting by in a middle class sort of way. But she's gorgeous, like real gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like not. I mean, she has had a lot of work done on top of it, but she's one of those people who was just born beautiful.
Yeah.
And but she's out of her fucking mind. Like
I believe it.
Yeah.
Tell me one. Give me an example.
Well, so she was mic'd, but she didn't know she was on camera.
Yeah.
And there was some beef going on between the girls, as it is on The Real Housewives. And she said she was whispering to somebody in a closet, "I don't need a knife. I have my hands." And she's in the closet like, "Just my hands." And then she's like, "And I heard he sucked someone's dick at the roundup."
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Wow.
This is why we watch reality TV.
That's true.
Because of people like Leanne Locken.
That's amazing.
Grew up at the carnival.
We might need to follow her on Instagram.
She's amazing.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. I will say the other thing that sitting here eating these gummies reminded me of the days that we used to eat Skittles on the show.
I know.
And this weekend...
I couldn't stop.
I know. I'm having a hard time moderating. This weekend, Jeff and I were watching a show that we love on YouTube called Hot Ones. Have you ever watched this show?
No, there's so much to watch.
Oh my God, this is funny. And it is only on YouTube, so you have to Google it on YouTube or whatever. And basically what it is it's a guy does an interview with a famous person, and for every question they eat...
I like how you said with a famous person and you were pointing at me. I'm not famous, but I felt famous.
Yeah, good. I'm
going to do it to you real quick.
Okay.
So, and a guy interviews people and he sits down every week with a famous person.
Yeah. Okay. It does feel good.
Yeah.
It does feel good. And every question that they ask, they have 10 hot wings in front of them that go from they start at sriracha and they go all the way up to fucking explode your brain. Hot.
I couldn't go past sriracha.
I couldn't either. There's no way. And it is so funny because by the time they get to the fifth wing, the celebrities are sweating. They can't concentrate on the question being asked. They don't know how to answer it. They're crying. It's actually really, really funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, they just got a sponsorship. They haven't always been sponsored, but they're sponsored by Skittles.
Oh,
It's possible. They're a YouTube show. They just sit around and eat hot wings.
How
they
do
have
they
a
get
Skittles
celebrities?
sponsorship. I don't know how they started. Maybe they knew someone or something, but everyone has been on this show. It is Key and Peele were on the other day. Their episode's hilarious. Key and Peele from they're on Comedy Central. They're two funny guys, and a lot of athletes go on. Anyway, it's definitely worth your time.
Hey, when they started, it was all B-list people.
It was all B-listers.
Jeff Goldblum on there.
Yeah. And now
That's
they've
awesome.
they've leveled up. But they also got a Skittles sponsorship, so that dream's not dead either. Yes. Soon we'll be eating Skittles in our Crocs, our kids.
Okay.
In our kids. All right. So we're going to talk about today's show. Our personal development topic, our primary discussion is going to be about do's and don'ts on the first date.
Yeah. So this is going to be fun because Heidi and I don't think we've prepared this topic at all. We're just going to be pretty off the cuff with it. Mm-hmm. So So to begin, the first thought that comes to my head is what we've already talked about on the podcast.
Okay.
So however it is that you've decided with this person that you guys are going to go on a date. Like, I don't know if you met online. I don't know if you met in the produce department of the grocery store. I've always heard that's a thing, but
It's never happened to me.
It's never happened to me.
Never once was I ever hit on in a grocery store. Mark, have you ever gotten hit on in a grocery store?
I'm waiting.
He's waiting with bated breath, and you've never gotten hit on. This is a myth. This is a myth that's perpetuated by the romantic movie industrial complex.
I got hit on at the gas station.
Oh, yeah.
I actually kind of went out with a guy. I was very young, but he was the gas station attendant
Yeah.
where I always got my gas. And I think, and he developed a crush on me. And then, like, his name was Hugo. I called him I go, you go, Hugo.
Well, that's cute.
And we went out a couple times, but there was like no chemistry. And then I had to like kind of avoid the gas station. But it
That
was
happened to me with a pizza shop.
yeah. And so that was the gas. I remember. I remember. And so then there was a gas station right by my house. So I finally like one day had to go, and I was so nervous. I drove off with the gas pump still in my car. I did get hit on at the waterfront yesterday as I was running. It went like this. It was a fine gentleman who just maybe had a large meth habit and maybe didn't have a home. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
And he said, "Thank you. I love your ass." Does that count getting hit on in public?
It kind of does.
I didn't turn around, and I ran past him, and then I just like flew him the bird.
Gave him the finger.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
But yeah, no. So that's the extent of my like meeting a guy. Well,
Yeah.
and then there was Townsend's tea guy.
Oh, yeah.
That did happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that didn't work out either. So I would just both these guys that I met in like more of like a like grocery store type of place. I wasn't attracted to, didn't have chemistry.
Yeah.
And that kind of brought me to my, wait, no, I'm only going to go out with somebody that I know I'm attracted to, like off the bat.
For real. Yeah.
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 So,
I agree. I think that is a myth that's perpetuated by the rom-com
yeah,
industry.
I think it is.
That you're going to meet
Because
someone
it's-
while you're shopping for groceries or
It's
pumping
such a
your
great
gas or
way
whatever.
to where you end up wasting your time dating somebody
Yes.
that you might not even really, that you're probably
wouldn't have
not
even
really
wanted
into.
to date. Yeah.
Because it's certainly not going to be like the badass hot guy who's like, you know, that's like at the grocery store, like, hey, girl.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely never happened to me. If you're a listener and you got hit on by like a badass hot guy at the grocery store, you need to DM us because...
And how many times has that badass hot guy turned out to be like the worst person in the world? Like I fell for that a couple times in my life. One as a teenager and then one in my adult life. I will never forget I worked at Prince Plus in the Westminster Mall. And there was this guy, I shit you not, he looked just like James Dean. And I
Yeah.
am not exaggerating. The guy
Wow.
was gorgeous. He looked like James Dean. He played it up. He dressed like James Dean. And then I was like, he wants to go out with me? I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. This is the realest shit that's ever happened to me. I'm like, I'm going to fall in love. He was batshit crazy. Like,
Probably a total narcissist.
oh, he was like, I think mentally ill.
Oh, okay.
Batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Like it was the worst.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh God, I have to add that to my book. Where were we going?
We started with this where it was...
Okay, so you're going on a date. However it is, you found this person.
Yes.
You guys have agreed to go on a date.
Yeah.
One caveat, like I do think like 75% of dating is we're meeting people online.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
We've talked about this before, but it bears repeating. It's a date.
It's a date.
That first meeting is a date.
Yeah.
And girl, boy, you better treat it like a date or
Yeah.
else it's not worth your time.
Yep.
It's not worth your time if you're not going to be taken out.
Yep. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And that means and I think part of that too means showing up for it like it's a date. Like get your fucking hair done or
Yes.
do your hair, not get it done. Do your hair.
Go
take
get a blowout.
Put your makeup
Yeah.
on, whatever.
Whatever
like
you do.
Put a little bit of energy into it because like it's interesting. I was listening to a different podcast about how to show up for when you do appearances. And it was like, your personal brand is you. This is, you're putting you out there. So like you show up like you're ready to meet someone new and you're excited about it. Not like, oh my God, I have to go take a final exam and it's 8 a.m. Like fucking put a little effort into it.
I agree. When I met Joey, so I was on my internet dating, like I am going to choose blah, blah, blah. And I choose chose 3. I specifically decided to choose 3 because I didn't think I could handle more, because I actually wanted to like choose 3 legitimate people that I might actually really be able to like fall in love with.
Yeah.
Like, so they had to like meet like
certain standards.
Yeah. And so I only chose 3, and Joey just happened to be the 3rd. And the other 2, I have to say, I knew like on the first date it wasn't going to be a thing, and there was never a second date, although they did ask. That was very important to me. I did not lose my streak that they always ask before they let me get in my car when we leave, which we could wrap that at the end.
Okay.
Anyway, Joey was the 3rd, and I was tired, and we had agreed to go out after work, and I was like tired, and after the other 2 hadn't worked out, I was kind of feeling like this plan might not really be great, and he's probably just going to be another one like them, and I don't know if I really even want to go.
Right.
But I had my clothes in my car to change into after work, and I had like my deodorant, my hairbrush, my toothbrush, it all there, and I just decided like, well, I think I will just go, because I did really consider canceling. I will just go just in case this is the guy.
Yeah.
And even though I was half checked out on it, and really knowing I was tired and I would rather just go home, I still brushed my teeth, I still washed my face, I still put on my cute little shorts and my cute little tank top that I planned to wear, you know, and I still went there like looking like how I could feel good about myself.
Yeah.
So how I could, like, if I do decide to like you, I could get you.
Yeah. I just feel like it's part of showing up to the whole experience, like knowing that you're the baddest bitch, and you have to be feeling that way too. So like go to the date, prepare, you know, like with a little bit of effort, effort, not a little bit. I'm not going to hedge that.
Yeah.
Put some effort into it. Go on the first date with some effort. One of the things I think safety wise is important. I don't think anyone would disagree with this. I would say meet at your first date. Don't get picked up.
Yes.
Everyone, you and I have both seen the movie Dirt, or the miniseries, and listened to it, the Dirty John series, and he picks her up at her house for the first date, and it's like the first red flag.
Well, and also what she did by allowing him to do that was she sent him the message that she has no boundaries. And I think that that's a bad message to send to somebody on the first date. A very bad message to send. So even though we're saying yes, this is absolutely a date in the like traditional style, that part of the tradition we can let go.
Has changed. Yeah. It's no longer really safe. It's no longer safe. So definitely plan
in multiple ways, because it's not safe because yes, you can get stolen and raped and murdered and SSDGM. And because you're giving this guy, like we teach people how to treat us. Yeah. We're already telling this man, this woman, whoever, that we don't have boundaries
around our space, around our personal space, our home space. Yeah. So that's really good. So don't have them pick you up at your house. Do meet them at wherever you're planning to go. Correct. I would say do plan, do make clear that the date's going to be like either an event or a certain amount of time, right? Like if you're going to go to dinner.
No.
You don't think so?
Hells
okay.
no. Right. But go on with your thought and then I'll tell you why.
Well, I guess I was going to say
that doesn't mean that you're not right.
Well, I mean, I might not be right. I hadn't thought about it very much. We are on the fly. So I'm kind of like, well, maybe the next thing is that you just decide like, okay, we're going to dinner and like, that's it. You know?
No, I really want to hear the rest of your thought.
That's it. That's the only, I don't have much more of it.
I thought you
I
had
was
a
thinking
reason.
about like, well, maybe because that way you like, if it's going bad, you're like not committed for the whole evening, but you know what? You're never committed for the whole evening. So maybe that's really the point, is like, don't feel like you have to spend more time than you want to with this person. There we go. I agree with that. 100.
So
even if you plan to go for dinner and it's like and you're not vibing, and if you can just say like, this isn't working and I'm going to, I'm going to get out of here, or thanks very much or whatever. So I would say, don't feel compelled to give this person more of your time than you want to.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. So, back to like, it's not worth your time to go out on a date with somebody if you are not manifesting that this may be a person you're really into.
Yeah.
And then it might be really fun, because dating is supposed to be fun.
Yes.
And like one of the most incredible things about dating is like when we meet somebody that we're into, that we're hot for, that we are falling in love with, it's like the inner child comes out.
Yeah.
And dating becomes play.
Yeah. Have fun.
And so what I love about dating when I find somebody that I vibe with is that we just do whatever we want for however long we want. And I would not ever say, like, if Joey and I just had our first like dinner together and neither of us wanted to leave each other that first meeting. And so we just went somewhere else, but we were also like two middle-aged people. So after about a 4 or 5 hour stretch of just like talking and vibing, we did go our separate ways because that was in alignment with both of our values,
well,
really.
it made sense for you. Yeah.
But we did have this no time limit. There was not this sort of like external idea that we should only meet for an hour on our first date.
You're right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And so it was really fun, and it allowed us, and it did feel like it felt so innocent and pure to be like a 38-year-old woman, just like, yeah, let's go. And now let's go get ice cream. And now let's go do this just so we can keep talking to each other.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I
That's
love
good.
that about dating. And I wouldn't want anybody to not have that experience on their first night meeting somebody.
Yeah.
Or second or third.
Yeah.
But absolutely, if the guy's like a dud or the girl's a dud
that's-
or the binary individual is a dud,
Yeah.
then it's
call it-
totally okay to bounce.
Totally okay to bounce. I
Yeah.
agree. There was something that, as you were telling that story about Joey, that I was thinking of as a do or a don't, and now I cannot. I know what it was. I have another don't. I might be all the don'ts.
And I'm all the dudes.
That'd be good. I feel pretty strongly around this
Naked.
one. Especially. I feel strongly around this one. Don't share your entire life story with this person on the first date. Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, this again is related to boundaries. That I do
Yes.
think it's important for us to be appropriately vulnerable, and I don't think that the first date is the time to tell this person that your trauma.
Correct.
I think eventually
Yes.
you can get to a place, if you continue to, because some people have trauma or stuff for them that is part of an attention-seeking thing, that they feel like they tell the story tell stories inappropriately in order to receive attention that makes them feel validated. So I'm just going to say, like, if you have something that's like a little gnarly, don't tell it on the first date.
Yeah, and I think we're going to touch on this on our Ruthless review with regard to vulnerability. Brene Brown talks about it well in her book, but she doesn't talk about it as well in her documentary, is how we can also use vulnerability to manipulate people. And that is so subtle, and it is such a pervasive thing when people don't have boundaries and they share like things they should not be sharing on the first date. It's very unhealthy, and
It's manipulative. That's the word.
Yeah, it's going to scare a healthy person away, and it's going to draw an unhealthy person
in.
nearer to you. We attract what we put out.
Yeah.
So if you are a person who has that in your story, that's a huge cue that it is not time to be dating, but it is time to be doing some self-work.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And I know that sounds super serious, but
it is super serious.
It's just true.
It is.
Yeah, it's just one of those hard truths.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear that they shouldn't be dating.
I know.
But there's a lot of people who should not be dating.
Well, here's the thing. If you want to have a long-term relationship, then yes, there is some work that a lot of people have to do. There are a lot of people who shouldn't be dating if they want long-term relationships. If you want to keep fucking whoever and having flings, then go ahead, keep dating.
Yeah, and good luck not hurting anybody.
Yeah, and then also watch out for the wreckage.
Or getting hurt.
But if you're ready for a long-term relationship, almost all of us have some work to do before we're ready to date for that.
This is good.
This is good.
I like what you're
Do you have
putting
another
down.
one? Do you have another one? I don't. That
Are
puts
you
you on the
out of
spot.
them?
I'm out of them. That's
Okay.
all. I'm like at like 2 or 3. I'm only good for a few.
I do have one.
Okay.
And this is okay for me, a heterosexual woman dating men. It was very important to me that he pays.
Oh yeah.
And we've talked about this before
We
on
have.
the podcast. And if you are somebody who doesn't think that's important to you, we need to talk, because 9 out of 10 of you are lying to yourselves. I do believe that there are some outliers, who really truly don't want that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And I do believe that that's real. But I think a lot of us do secretly want it, but are too afraid and feel too unworthy and don't want to be that person. They don't like who they look, how it looks, and they think that they're going to lose an opportunity from it.
Yeah, out of fear. They take this stance out of fear.
And they think it's awkward. And so it's actually not. It's not awkward at all. It's not something you have to establish up front. It's when that check comes,
You just sit there.
you just sit there.
Do nothing.
Do nothing.
Do nothing.
That's yours, boo.
Because if he's gonna ask you to split it, at least make him ask you. Right. And then you know something about the person. Sorry, them. Make them ask you, and then you know something about that person, that they're not willing to pay, and that they're gonna ask you to split it.
Right.
But like, don't reach for it. Just sit there, because either they'll pay for it, which is the preferred, or they'll ask you.
Yeah.
Let's split this.
I mean, I would even, so 2 things I have to say. One is, it doesn't come out explicitly before dating, but like, I knew when I was being asked out on a date, the people that I chose and the way that we worded our meeting was, we were going on a date. And when going on a date is clear, that is also very clear. Now, if some somebody's asking you to come to their house for a barbecue or
different.
meet them at a coffee shop, you're knowing that this is not a date, and then it does get gray, and then it does get awkward, and how am I going to expect him to buy my coffee, and what if I show up and homeboy's sitting over there with his coffee already and I have to go get my coffee, and how fucking romantic is that? No, that's not what I'm out here for. Like, I could do that with my girls. Why would I do that with you?
Yeah.
I'm going off anyway. And I'm even going to go so far as to say this. So if we've established we're on a date and the check comes, it is perfectly acceptable for me to say that's where it goes. Because you are telling this person that I am worth it, that this is my time that I'm giving to you.
Yeah.
And I don't want somebody who can't pay a bill for dinner for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to date you if you can't pay a bill for dinner for me. And that may sound really fucked up, but that's just how I live now as a grown-ass woman with a fucking job.
Yes. Preach. Love it.
And guess what? There are men and women and non-binary individuals who really like that about people.
Yeah.
There are men and women and non-binary individuals who really don't like that about people. I choose to date the type that like that about people.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
I love that. I feel like that's a great place to wrap it up because it's a really inspiring kind of way to finish the conversation around dating do's and don'ts on first dates. So
Know your worth.
know your worth, then add tax.
Then add tax.
Boom. I love it. We are sending lots of love, light, and gold from Portland. And don't forget to...
Stay vigilant.
especially around those carnival serial killers. Watch out.
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.
And then you just throw them in your truck bed and have it bounce out. Right.